Om Shanti. Good morning. So today we will be reading the Murli of 14th of November 1979. The sign of Brahmin life is to have a constant sparkle of happiness. So today while reading or listening the Murli, we will actually check that the things Baba is mentioning about the Brahmin life, how much of that is being in my awareness throughout the day. Because most of these things which Baba is telling today, and he generally tells us, it is basically known to most of us, and we have been listening it in various other murlis as well. But how much of this is really being practiced or experienced throughout the day, that is something which we can explore while we reflect. So it's a long murli and again split across 2 days. So today we will be reading the main part of the murli, and tomorrow we'll be reading the second part where Baba meets different groups of the eastern part of Bharat, that is the Nepal, Assam, Bihar, and other states. So let us start. Today, Bab Dada is looking at each child's final stage, the stage that is free from sinful acts, the stage that is free from sinful and wasteful thoughts. So, Baba is referring to the final stage where we will not have any act which is sinful, nor any thoughts. You are all, of course, making effort to reach this final stage. But Baba saw two types of effort makers. First were those who experienced the reward whilst making that effort. That is, who are moving along while experiencing the reward as well as the attainment of the efforts. The other type was those who simply remain busy making effort. Okay, so in simple words, while making effort, if we are enjoying or if we are experiencing any result, reward, which Baba is mentioning, that is one category, and one category is just making effort, not really experiencing any reward. The other type was those who simply remain busy making effort, although they put in a lot of hard work, they still experience less attainment. Therefore, whilst trying to progress, they become tired. An accurate effort maker would never feel tired. Why? There is a difference in the understanding of each of the two types of effort makers. This is the reason why one type labors while the other type stays intoxicated with love. So, first difference Baba mentioned is about the experiencing the reward. Second difference he tells is that the understanding of two effort makers. So, second he mentions is like the first one becomes tired, the second one may not. And the reason for that is a third difference, which is the first one feels labor, while the second one feels intoxicated with love. It is only a small difference. One type is of those who consider themselves to be moving along by themselves, who believe that they have to move along and face things by themselves. Those of the divine types have surrendered everything, even their thoughts, and they therefore experience Bap Dada. I'm at the end of page 17. If you are scrolling, just page of, yeah, last two lines of page 17. Yeah, those of the other type have surrendered everything, even their thoughts, and they therefore experience Bap Dada to be making them move along. They don't feel that they are moving with the effort of their own legs, but are being moved whilst sitting in the lap of love. Okay, so this is very interesting thing that although we are putting effort in anything, but if we feel that we are making effort by our own legs, that makes a difference versus the thought that we are being moved while seated in the lap of love. Therefore, they are moving with the feet of love, which doesn't cause any tiredness because they experience attaining everything in the lap or swing of love. They are not just walking, but are constantly flying. We are constantly flying in pleasure and inner happiness with all pass. Okay, so this is very interesting thing. Like as I mentioned earlier, we should really pause for a moment and check that which what kind of effort makers are we. We all must have be planning our day, planning our spiritual activities for the day. It could be anything, any thought of affirmations, anything of yoga, abhyas, practice, maybe understanding of Murli, revising it. But how is that? Is it really with the effort making process which makes us exhausted, tired, or we really experience that which Baba refers to as the lap of Baba's love or swing of Baba's love? So, how much is that stage? Maybe we are doing this, but probably it could be also some part of the day, yes, some part of the day, no. So, how much are we constantly flying in the pleasure of inner happiness with all paths? Ask yourself which type you are. Confluence age Brahmin children take every step while living in the lap of love. The sign of a Brahmin life is that the sparkle of happiness is always visible. If you don't have happiness, you don't have a Brahmin life. So, sparkle of happiness is always visible, not only to others but also to the self. Many children believe that the confluence age is for making effort and that happiness is experienced in the future birth as the reward. Okay, because generally we listen in Baba's Murli also, right? This one birth of effort will give us 21 births of kingdom. And many have this thought as well. Out of the 21 kingdom, one is basically of the conference age, and the other 20 is of the golden and silver age. But since only one birth is referred to in the confluence of more, inclination or bent is for the Satyug, for the golden and silver age. And that is why we have a feeling that this birth we have so many challenges, but whatever we do is for the future, the next births. And that is where Baba is asking us to again reflect that many children believe that the confluence is just for making efforts, purusharth hi karna hai, and that happiness is experienced in future births. Because we are told that the devtas, the deities would be always happy, they will not have any sorrow, there won't be any problem. And so we take that as a reward, which is yes, but what Baba mentioned here is they believe that Bapdada's promise of your giving one fold and receiving 100,000 fold applies to the future. But this is not so. This promise is for the conference age. The most elevated time, the most elevated birth, and the most elevated titles are of this time. That is why Baba always mentions in Murli, I believe, even in the Sakar Murlis, that the Brahmin birth is much elevated than the deities. There are various slogans also referred, like the Brahma Bhojan, even the deities don't deserve the kind of Brahma Bhojan we have. Sometimes Baba call them as royal Budhus. That means they really don't have any knowledge of the creator or creation. Baba tells that the heart throat that you children are experiencing now will not be experienced in the golden age. Baba also mentions that the godly love, the family which we have at the moment, will not experience that love in future. There are so many comparisons which we can draw. Maybe you can share something more while we are doing the churning. But the essence what Baba probably wants to mention here is the most elevated time, the most elevated birth, and the most elevated titles are of this time. Similarly, the experience of attaining everything and the fulfillment of all promises is also at this time. Of course, you will receive these in the future, but the present time is even more elevated than the future. It is only at this time when you children take one step or have the one thought, Baba, I belong to you, and you receive from the Father in return the experience in your every thought, word, and deed that Baba belongs to you, that the Father belongs to you. In return for your one thought, the Father becomes yours for the whole of your confluence age life. You don't just receive 100,000 fold return for one. Whenever, however, and whenever you want, the Father takes the form of your servant and becomes bound to fulfill that for you. Now hold on. Is this really an exaggeration? Or does Baba really mean what he means? What he says? Let us read this last statement again. Whenever, however, and whatever you want. जभी भी कभी भी and कहीं भी. Whenever, however, and whatever you want, the Father takes the form of your servant and becomes bound to fulfill that for you. So let's experience this for today, right? If Baba tells that he is bound to be our servant, whenever, however, and whatever, is he bound to fulfill whatever we have for him today? So let's experiment this today. So you don't just receive 100,000 fold in return for one. In fact, what you receive in return is immeasurable. However, whilst you are moving along, you forget the importance of the present time. What is the blessing of the conference age? That the bestower of fortune himself belongs to you. What else do you need when the bestower of blessings himself belong to you? You have the seed in your hand and you can take whatever you want from that seed within a second. It is just a matter of creating that thought. If you want power, happiness, or bliss, everything is present for you because the Lord Himself brings to you. Just as physical servants would become present when you call them, similarly, just by your thinking about any of these attainments, they will become present in front of you. This is interesting. So, just as we call any physical servant, for example, if the servant's name is Sam, if we call, "Hey Sam, where are you?" And he's like, "Oh, sir, I'm here." So, similarly, are we experiencing these attainments to be at our feet as soon as we call them? So, let's experiment this as well today. Let me read this last statement again. Just by your thinking about any of these attainments, they will become present in front of you. However, it is only when the Lord belongs to you that all of these become present for you. If the seed belongs to you, then all of this fruit is yours. However, what do you children do whilst moving along? You try to have your cake and also eat it. So now Baba is in this, we have moved into the next paragraph, where Baba is now mentioning the reason if these things are not really working for us. What he mentioned in first two paragraphs. So what Baba is telling, you try to have your cake and also eat it. You are ready to take everything that Baba gives you, but you also still take whatever you need to let go of. When you go into too much expansion, you are not able to hold on to the essence. Everything slips through your fingers and you don't even realize it. You then become empty and have to labor to make yourselves full and overflowing. Because you let go of the seed, you are unable to attain the practical fruit and you then become tired. So, what Baba is mentioning is that when you go into too much expansion, you are not able to hold on to the essence. You then force yourself to move along with the reassurance of the future. Instead of experiencing the present fruit, you continue to move along in anticipation of the future fruit. Therefore, you are not constantly able to see the sparkle of happiness. More lines of effort than lines of attainment are visible on your face. You have a greater feeling of renunciation than of receiving fortune. भाग्य की जगह त्याग ज्यादा दिखता है. So, what do you now have to do? Even now, when people come into contact with you from time to time, they say that your renunciation is great. However, they should now be saying that your fortune is great. They are able to see your renunciation, but as yet They have been unable to see your fortune. Your fortune is still not seen. So, another third thing for us to reflect today, when people meet us, many of them know that we are BKs. Many of them might also know that we have so and so restrictions. But do they really see our restrictions or renunciations or tyag, or they really see our fortune? They praise your renunciation a great deal. However, if they were to praise your fortune that to the same extent, their own fortune would open in just a second. When they see your renunciation, they only begin to think about it. However, if they were to see your fortune, they would become fortunate themselves. Do you now understand what change you have to bring about? Stop laboring and come into the lap of love. Don't think that you are moving along by yourselves, but feel that Baba is making you move along. Okay, so another way Baba is reiterating that statement. Earlier he mentioned that expansion point. Now he's mentioning the movement part. Before that he mentioned that we are not doing along, but we are doing in the lap of or swing of the love. Okay, so what he's telling, don't think that you are moving along by yourself, but feel that Baba is making you move along. The light went out. So I think the electricity went off while Baba was reading Murli or speaking the Mahavakya. Since the children live in darkness, even the father has to experience how you children live in such a world. This is the practical experience. Acha. Now do you understand what you have to do? Before you start thinking about taking the fruit of the future, eat the fruit of present time. Constantly keep the Lord in your intellect and make attainments you need will be ever ready for you. When the Lord is present in front of you, all attainments will automatically be attracted to you as though by a magnet. Do you understand? Bapdata cannot bear to see you children having to labor. You are the elevated souls. You are the trunk that has emerged directly from the seed. All of you elevated children have to become experienced in having all attainments easily. Hmm? See, another Swaman, another affirmation Baba is giving us. You are the elevated souls. You are the trunk that has emerged directly from the seed. This is interesting. Trunk that has emerged directly from the seed. All of you elevated children have come to become experienced in having all attainments easily. Acha. So Baba is giving the yad pyar to those who easily receive all attainments, to those who are as constantly and as completely full or everything as the ocean, to those who constantly stay in the seed, to those who remain stable in the seed stage, to those who achieve the aim of remaining free from sinful thoughts and actions, to all the children whose intellects constantly have faith and who remain carefree, Bap Dada's love, remembrance, and namaste. Love, remembrance, and namaste of us, the children, to the Bap Dada. So let us pause for a moment and we can reflect on what Baba has to say in today's Murli letter. Okay, we can start sharing now. So today Baba was mentioning that very essence of we making an effort, and also how can we get rid of the tiredness, the heaviness, or if you're not able to experience the effort at the present. And so I think he was revolving around the same thing, but what Baba probably wants us to experience is that while we make our plans of efforts, we should experience. And that is why Baba mentioned the two types of children. One is the effort makers who experience labors, and the second, he told that who those who are intoxicated with love. So, so practically, let me start maybe sharing my experience, and then you all can add on. So many times, if I feel that I have to do a particular task myself, there is a lot of thoughts I have to generate because it is just the me who have to work. And if a slight thought comes that, oh, Baba is my friend, Baba is my helper, that very moment a thought comes that, oh, this is so simple. I could have, I mean, uh, the efforts which we have to really put in, the responsibility gets shared. Just like in a team, maybe in an office, if a work is assigned, if there is no one to help you in the team, if everybody is on the leave, we have that thought that I am the only responsible person to deliver this. But I have a team of maybe 4, 5 people, or even if for that matter, even one person who is helping me, that responsibility becomes shared. And due to that sharing, there is more lightness that, oh, we will be able to deliver on time. So when in Lokik, these things are seen, but Of course, in Lokik, since we can speak directly and we have that body consciousness with us always, so if we see bodies around us, we get that comfort level. But since the soul consciousness is not that active when it comes to spiritual, probably we miss out Baba in between. So one way is the more we have soul consciousness practice, or the more we emerge Baba as our friend throughout the day, the more the responsibilities becomes shared. And it could be anything, not even the tasks. It could be even, for example, me walking from here to probably a place 3, 4, 5 kilometers ahead. And if I just walk alone, I might feel the strain, the pain in my legs. But if I feel that, oh, Baba, I'm just in Baba's lap and he's making things happen, that experience of that walking will be totally different. So that was my reflection. Any other thought which you all wish, you all feel that Baba's experience you actually feel when you just had a thought of Baba with you all versus when you all were alone?
Om Shanti, Praful Bhai. Om Shanti.
Gijavan,
Praful
go
Bhai.
ahead. Go ahead, Gijavan.
No, when you were just sharing, no, I just wanted to share a few things rather than there is so much really I know I could get from you because this theory of effort and reward in a everyday philosophy and the theory between effort and reward in this spiritual philosophy, there's a lot of a difference. Lot of a difference. Like today, when you, because I always believe success is 99% perspiration and 1% aspiration. This is how we learned our philosophy. Then the greater I work, I feel I've achieved something. Like I love the job of a spider who keeps spinning and spinning and spinning. So I always used to believe that the result is proportionate to the effort I make. Keep doing, keep doing, keep working, because only an effort will release the reward. If I stop making effort, if I quit, then I can't find the reward. And I always used to believe things don't take place like accident, like quality is not an accident. You have to work, work, work. This is what was my everyday philosophy. Because every little effort I know has to reward. This is the direct proportionate. But today, Baba mentioned three things, which, if you can really add a little bit on it. The first one, he says, an accurate effort maker never feels tired. So, and immediately he adds for it in that accurate, move along, thinking you are not alone, but you have the tools of Bapdada. I just want first this, then I'll come to the other part. What is this accurate effort? To distinguish it from a modern day philosophy.
I think your voice is breaking. You're telling something, Gijavan?
I said, I just gave you what I had shared with the modern philosophy of reward and effort. And today there are 3 points which actually Baba hit on. The first point is an accurate effort maker never feels tired. And he gives the difference about two kinds of children, laboring and love. And then those kind of children, as you shared with your experience, they feel Bap Dada makes them move along, lap of love. So, can you just give a logical meaning to this? What Baba meant in this sentence: accurate effort maker never feels tired.
Okay, so if you see again, that is the philosophy which you mentioned. I think the more effort we make, the more result we get. And even here, we are making a spiritual effort. So it's not that we are not making, Baba is not telling us to make effort. Definitely, we have to make effort, because the flip side of this is that, oh, if Baba is there, then if Baba is giving us, why should we really worry about even making an effort? Because making effort makes me feel tired. And Baba mentioned that leave everything onto him. So let's not really make any effort, and let's enjoy our Sangam Yug. Anyways, we are coming to the kingdom Baba has promised us. So this is the flip side when we take Baba's uh, this philosophy to an extreme without a proper understanding. So although Baba is telling us to make effort, it could be anything. Maybe our logics. We have to work with our karma bandhans. We have to work with our relatives, families, or even for that matter, our own sanskars. We have to work. So Baba is not really telling us to be away from effort maker, but he is using the word as accurate effort maker. So what Baba is telling, whilst trying to progress, they become tired. An accurate effort maker would never feel tired. So then the question arises, what could be the meaning of accurate effort maker? Where Baba mentions there is a reason why one type labors whilst the other type stays intoxicated in love. So, f- as per Baba, accurate labor does not mean that we are too busy and feel the labor, feel the pain, feel the exhaustedness, because even that is considered as an effort in logic. So, for example, if there is a worker who is really doing a lot of effort, he's just maybe breaking stones, and there is that story. If most of you all must have uh, uh, read it, it will take 2-3 more minutes, but I'll just mention this because it is worth. I think that story says that there was one person, the foreigner coming in, and he saw some workers working, and first one he asks, what are you doing? And that worker was really furious when this question was asked, and he told that, can't you see that I'm breaking these stones? Full day I have to really work so hard, and it's so painful. I'm not really getting wages, but I'm basically bullied so much. This is such a third class job which I've got. And why are you here to waste my time? I have so many stones to be broken. And then the person who asked the questions really felt guilty, like why did he disturb that person? And he goes off. And just a few steps ahead, another person doing the same work, he asks the question, what are you doing? And then he tells, oh sir, I'm breaking this stone. I have to just do this for my stomach, for my family. I know this is a thankless job, but I'm just somehow surviving by cutting this, breaking this stone. So that fellow really felt that difference, that the first one was so furious, the second one, although he was calm, but he acknowledged that he has to do this for his family. And the traveler moves again a few steps ahead, and third worker was doing the similar kind of job, and he asks the same question, "What are you doing?" And then he tells, "Oh, sir, do you know I am instrument in become preparing this beautiful temple, and I am just getting these stones done away. And sooner, such a beautiful temple will be made here where thousands of people will come, thousands of devotee will come. So I am, really making a history in golden letters of being instrument in becoming for this temple to be created." And he was so cheerful. So here, all three were doing the same work, and but the energy levels, the kind of lightness, which enthusiasm which each of them possessed was really different. So it is not really so probably even us we can check, uh, although we all are on the path of or on the journey of this thing of spiritual effort, but where we see ourselves to be, do we really have that zeal and enthusiasm which Baba just mentions after the accurate effort maker, that he tells that the second type stays intoxicated in love, and the one after that Baba just tells another thing, that there is just this small thought which really makes a difference. Although at an external level each one was doing the same work, but this thought really made a drastic difference between the first and the third laborer which we just saw. So thanks Girjaben for that question. Anyone else, any final sharing before we close for the meditation?
Om Shanti, Praful bhai.
Yes,
This,
brother.
this Murli also, I mean, this discussion which was going on, I could see in practically an organization also where em- one organization employees are just making efforts and trying to make progress, but people are tired and they're not motivated, and they don't have a vision. They are not able to relate to the mission and vision of the organization. But on the other hand, like mostly if you see, go to any kind of a government office, or I mean, uh, uh, one now becoming lesser, but in some of the typical uh, uh, district level or some office, you find people indulging in even the corruption and all that. But on the other hand, there are even some of the government organizations, maybe at the central level, where, or even the private organizations like TCS or whatever. I mean, I'm not naming, but there's a professional culture, and the employees are motivated. They are relating themselves to the vision of the organization. They are equally the stakeholders. And they contribute. And while making, both are making efforts. It's not that the inefficient organization, the employees are not making effort, but then they become tired. They are not experiencing, they're not understanding what role they're playing and how it affects them deep inside their happiness levels. So the happiness or the energy level which you rightly said is missing in the other organization, ordinary organization. But the accurate organizations, they're it is comprising of the workforce which is accurate effort makers. They are they'll never feel tired. They will always be having in that intoxication that they are creating a history. No one is like them. They will do everything except ordinary. They will think out of box, and that will reflect in their personal life also. They will be very much happy, and they will consider the entire organization as a one family. So this management or this psychology Baba is teaching us that it doesn't matter what effort we are making, but it make what is our understanding that this Though we are making effort, but we're not making effort. We are attaining a fortune. We are right now, and that fortune is not in the future, but it is in the present moment, the now, this very moment, that experience of that fortune, of having an opportunity to put in that effort. It's also a high energy level. Om Shanti.
Yes. Thanks, Ombai. That was wonderful. And
Uh,
just to take that ahead, even in the current organization, sorry, even in that private organization, there you will always find two types. One, just I'm taking this point to that Baba which mentioned that 21 births, the future will get that attainments. So there would be a group of employees who would be just focusing on like, let me make effort so that I will get a good reward, I will get a promotion, I will get a hike, and their focus will be just to make efforts to get that thing, which I also see in private organization. And for some, they would actually even enjoy the process of the effort making. So after the 8 hours or whatever hours they work, we may not see a frown on their face. They would be, as you mentioned, probably
Mhm.
aligned with the goals of the organization. And that I realized one year in my organization there was not really, or actually company went into losses and they didn't really give good bonus or hikes, or rather there was zero bonus and hardly any hike. So obviously everybody was so much disappointed because they were not Baba's children. But there I was just reflecting that, is this really impacting me? I didn't get any bonus that year or any hike for that matter, in spite of working the entire year. So I just checked myself. Did I really work for that bonus or hike, or I really enjoyed the process of the working? And then I got an answer that I really enjoyed the work which I did. It's not really about bonus which I was working throughout the year. And once I got the answer to that question, that even really didn't impact me the way it impacted others. So in an typical organization, people just grumble for a couple of weeks, and some might even put down their papers. So many things happen. Of course, they might not do that deep churning like we do, but yeah, we can very well apply this in our practical life as well.
On the other hand,
Uh,
like people like you, I mean,
Praful,
which you gave your example, there would be some employees similar to you, I mean, just like you. They will get more, even more kick, more intoxication at during the adverse situations when the organization is at loss. Since they are aligning themselves with the vision, they will contribute more at that times, at the times of adversities. They will contribute even more, and they will get more they will experience more intoxication, which we are the one, we are the foundation of this organization. We are, let's work hard, harder, hardest, and it will happen out of the sheer love for the organization. Sheer love. They don't have, so that's the, what is propelling, what is the propelling force behind the effort is what matters, not the effort. What is the propelling force, motivating
okay.
force? Option.
Praful Bhai, Praful
Yes.
Bhai, Praful Bhai.
Yes, yes, I'm here only.
So small. I don't know. I beg to differ a little because I feel in today's world, anywhere, there is only camouflaging of motivation. If they just want to put off somebody, you know what they'll say? Hey, you're doing really a good job, but I want you to do something better. And the person receiving the motivation is so hyped, thinking his work has been recognized, not realizing that the very floor under his feet is being removed, that plants are there to really usurp him. But Baba's motivation is never camouflaged. Baba's motivation is perfectly related. Otherwise, I always see wherever word, whatever, there is no direct relation. It's only your own satisfaction. That's what I don't know. It's just after this Murli, I feel this whole world is like that. Everything in the name of motivation, it's camouflaged. There were just two things. If suppose you have no time today, Praful Bhai, you can take it up tomorrow also. Two statements which Baba has made in the Murli. You are ready to take everything that Baba gives you, but you also still take whatever you should renounce. I was just thinking on that. That is one part. And people see my renunciation. That is the glaring truth. When people look at us, they see what we have given up, but not my fortune. So, what should I do to become a mirror of that? These two things were also so much dominant in the Murli. And of course, eating fruit of the present, which I was always, I thought, we should just keep doing effort, fruit will come automatically. If you can throw some light over there, or if not, even tomorrow, I know you're going to continue the Murli. If you can give us your approach in this, Om Shanti.
Sure. So let us stay in Baba's remembrance for a minute and we'll close and then we can continue tomorrow. So for the next 1 minute, let us plan on how I would use Baba throughout the day as a companion in whatever efforts I make. It's not just me alone, but I have a super, 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 super duper engine with me, Bap Dada. Because of that, every effort I make, may that be Lokik, Alokik, at home, at the office, wherever, I am experiencing that zeal and enthusiasm. Om Shanti.